Ghost hunting. Many people should be familiar with what ghost hunting is, and if you're not, then it's a very adrenaline high activity where you go on to different locations to allegedly hunt ghosts. It's been something that's been with us for the longest time, creating multiple movies, multiple TV shows, and also multiple games. The most popular ghost hunting game that we have to date is Phasmophobia, where you're assigned a job to go to a house to find out what ghost type you're dealing with. And all this game stuff is true, we've done this in real life as well. Many people go out to find ghosts, whether they're trying to find people from actual murder cases, and then there's people doing the outright most. But why do I even talk about this? Why do I even go on about ghost hunting and the TV shows, movies, and videos and games? Well, ghost hunting branched off through all of those, and especially games. Again, as I said before, Phasmophobia is one of the most popular games in this category, but I'm not saying that Phasmophobia is the only game that goes with this category. For example, there's completely other games that are kind of based off Phasmophobia but aren't Phasmophobia, and some games kind of join in with that category. For example, Fnaf. But the question forms, how does Fnaf connect with ghost hunting at all? Well, in some cases, Fnaf has been based off ghosts the entire time. Spirits haunting animatronics, the animatronics start trying to kill you because of the revenge of these crying childs that are being murdered by William Afton. But we don't deliberately go out and try to find these spirits. We usually just try to fend them off and survive till 6 a.m. But sometimes we get some paranormal activity type FNAF games. For example, FNAF Plus was highly, and I mean highly, based off paranormal activity other than FNAF. It was supposed to lean towards more of the brutal side of FNAF, like the murders of the kids and everything else. Like even one of the videos was purely based off paranormal activity or ghost hunting. That just shows how much ghost hunting does branch out to FNAF games. But there's a FNAF game out there that it's purely based off ghost hunting. Your main task is to find the ghost, and that game is called Juniors. Juniors is kind of like a remake of FNAF 2, but not really at the same time. It has its own storyline and its own thing, but also with the FNAF 2 characters: Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, Balloon Boy, and Marionette. Later on during the game, with the lore, you'll eventually see that you're also facing off the one that's called the Mangle, which is obviously just Mangle, but just overhyped. But enough about that. More about the original gameplay. The first half. The first half based itself off purely what I just said, ghost hunting. How to find a spirit inside animatronics. But let me just relax a bit before I even go into that. I have things to say to you guys, and I also have to explain the story before we go into the game. First of all, thank you guys for helping me reach above 100 subscribers. That Post-Shift 2 video reached 3.1k views. A few videos ago, I reached 1.1k views, which was a huge milestone for me because I've never reached a single k view in my life. And also reaching more than 100 subscribers, setting in a good 146 as I'm recording this audio right now, is pretty good. And honestly, I can't thank you guys enough. I don't know why, but lots of YouTubers completely miss the fact that they are nothing without their subscribers. They're nothing without their viewers, and without you guys, we wouldn't be anything. So again, thank you guys so much for just stopping by and subscribing and waiting for new content like this. I promise I'll try to continue making content and try to make it more frequently, but again, lots of ideas just run out. But other than that, thank you guys, and let's continue to the video. Alright, so let's continue. To start off this story, we're introduced to a man, and this guy doesn't actually have a name. I've checked everywhere and the name is unknown. So let's give him a name. How about you? because, well, this is literally you. You play as this guy. He woke up and feels empty inside. He's found himself in an area called the Barrens. The Barrens is a place where you're not alive and you're not dead. You're just in the Barrens. And with Yu's luck, he finds a little spirit called Pallbear. Pallbear is a spirit that just chills in the Barrens for who knows how long. And he tells you that, well, he's in the limbo between life and death. He's in the Barrens. As any normal human being, Yu wants to go back to living life as a normal person. However, Pallbear can accept that and tells him that not yet. He has to do something first because he has unfinished business. And that's where Yu comes in place. Since he's still a human and, well, he still has the power to go back to the real world, Pallbear is going to use him to finish his unfinished business, which is where we're going to head on to the first night, at the Junior's location. If you guys didn't know, the Junior's location is actually a real location in the Fnaf series. You enter the Junior's location and this is when the first night starts. Again, we're talking about ghost hunting here, so why did I even mention all of this? Well, for your first nights, you need to find the ghost. The ghost that's haunting a robot or animatronic. The ghost leaves sudden hints so that you can understand or see where it is. For example, if the ghost is haunting an animatronic and the camera you're seeing, the camera might have a little bit of a static, or it might be glitching a bit. And sometimes, once the animatronic leaves the camera, it'll leave a handprint for you to find out if the ghost was there or not. And you gotta assume which one it is. Assume correct and, well, one of the amount of ghosts that you need to find. After you find all the ghosts that you need, you end your shift and go back to the Barrens, back to Pallbear. And you repeat this over and over and over again. However, that's not the only mechanic that you gotta deal with. With the animatronics, they also have their, I guess, sustainability or something that starts wearing down. And this continuously goes down, even if you don't affect them or choose wrong on them. And I forgot to mention that. If you choose an animatronic saying that they're haunted and it's incorrect, they lose a huge chunk of their composure. And, well, once they lose their entire composure, they'll kill you. That's why it's so important to choose correctly and pay attention to the hints. Because, well, if you don't, then they'll end up killing you. So, all of this is part 1. You gotta find a ghost, the ghost leaves sudden hints for you to figure it out, and you gotta pay attention to the animatronic's health, or I guess sustainability, so that you don't die either. So, what's part 2? Let's talk about it. So, do you remember the character that I told you a while ago in the video? The one that was called the Mangle? Well, the Mangle isn't just a random character, or a character they have to fend off exactly the same as the last ones. No, this is completely different. Think back to Fnaf 2, like actually, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Think about the mechanics. Think about how you had to put on a mask to fend off the animatronics if they got into your office, having to check the cameras like always to see where they are, and also wind up the music box to keep the puppet at bay. Think of all of that, but newly remodeled, more scarier, and just terrifying. But the only difference is you only face off the withered animatronics. So that'd be Withered Freddy, Withered Chica, Withered Bonnie, Withered Foxy, also as well with Withered Balloon Boy, and also Withered Marionette. And with those 6 characters, we also face off the Mangle, which gets introduced in such a cool way. Take a look. After that incredible intro, we have to face off the Mangle and the spirit that we were trying to find the entire time. Fending off Mangle and its owl, and also the spirit, you finally reach 6 AM and you get a cutscene. This cutscene is Pallbear finally facing his fears and meeting the spirit that we were fending off or trying to find this entire time. However, Pallbear is not getting it well. He's immediately threatened and he's close to death. However, Pallbear keeps his composure as he knows something's different this time. Even though the spirit is moments away from killing Pallbear, he remembers Yu exists. And he remembers that Yu has the power to kill her. And that's exactly what he does. She stabs her behind her back, and it's over. Yu finally gets to go back, and Paw Bear finally finished his business. And like that, it closes. The story ends, and well, that's the game. Going from finding the ghost and then fighting the ghost, the game finally ends. And well, that's it. Who knows? Maybe sooner or later we'll get more games like this. Only time can tell.